What's your verdict now, KP?
Shh.
Eh.
Shh. The Roadkill Racing Series is on the air! Live from the Concord Motor Speedway, it's the You Suck Sprint Cars. Joey Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight. Joined with me by my partners in crime, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, Kevin Maywood Pasquich. Going to be an in-race crash dummy for us tonight as the Roadkill Racing Short Track Series takes to the demonic triangle of the Concord Motor Speedway. Miss Layla Wilson looks like setting quick time tonight. Bear with me here as we bring that back up.
Yeah, the demonic triangle is a very correct assessment of this this track. It's like a mini Pocono, but it's a lot more hazardous and a lot more narrow.
True story. So
Yeah, it's interesting down here tonight.
very true story. As
This is KP's first time trying a sprint car around here, so
trying a pavement sprint car
Yeah.
at Concord.
I would
So-
feel much better if it were dirt and had a big wing on the top of it.
But Layla Wilson going quick time. Thomas Powell starting outside row number 1. Robert Tarbox Jr. and Brian Williams starting row number 2. Row 3 is going to go to Joe Cowan and Mike Main. And our broadcast partner, Mr. Kevin Pasquich, going to be starting shotgun on the field by his lonesome.
Thank goodness.
Oh, where's your sense of adventure, KP?
I have a sense of adventure. I just think that it needs to take a vacation right now.
So 35 laps, the scheduled distance. Roadkill Racing Series does this every Monday night. This is the third race of the night tonight. They run it basically like you would see at your local short track on a Friday or a Saturday evening with 3 back-to-back-to-back races. So if you like the action that you see, go ahead and drop a comment below, and we'll pass it along to the league admins and get you added to the action for next week. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share as the 900 horsepower. What's the phrase I'm looking for here?
Go-kart?
Basically, yeah. Put 900 horsepower in a go-kart and then try to hold it in a semi-straight line around an oval track, and good luck. But, again, Layla Wilson starting on the pole, Thomas Powell, Robert Tarbox Jr., Brian Williams, Joe Cowan, Mike Main, and Kevin Pasquich, your starting grid. 35 laps of scheduled distance. Lights are out on the pace car. Pace car is going to make the hard left turn here going into turn number 3. Again, only 3 turns here at the Concord Motor Speedway, located just outside of
Green flag, green flag.
the Charlotte, North Carolina area. As the green flag comes out, the field makes its way through turn number 3. Powell and Wilson go side by side in turn number 1. Powell with the high side, able to keep it wound up there. Wilson ducking into second. Tarbox to the inside of Williams. That's your battle for third right now. And we saw him last week do this as Thomas Powell showing why Pennsylvania is non-wing sprint car country, and he can do it on the pavement as well as he does it on the dirt. So our sometimes broadcast partner and always teammate, Miss Layla Wilson, currently sitting in second place. Pennsylvania Posse showing the way right now as the California Kid makes her way, making a move, reeling in Powell right now.
yeah, she got off to a pretty shaky start there, letting Thomas Powell through, but she's actually reeling him back in now.
As we see Powell get a little sideways going into 3. Wilson to the inside.
Yeah. Good to see them battling up front. The other guys biding their time at the back, just waiting for something to happen. But
Or trying not to die.
yeah, as KP sees it.
Well, that's half the battle in the non-wing sprint cars. Is if you can survive the race and not, have to answer the doctor. Well, doc, last thing I remember was dirt sky, ambulance. It's always a good day when you can avoid using that phrase. Currently working lap 7 of 35. Powell still showing the way as it gets a little sideways going into 3. Brian Williams with a great save coming out at 2. Wilson to the inside again, uses the apron, slides up a little bit. She is definitely using all the racetrack as she's trying to get by the Pennsylvania Posse member known as Thomas Powell.
I can't help but think that these little mistakes that Powell is making, it's letting Layla in that little bit more, and she's getting ever closer to taking that first place away from him.
Well, I'm thinking that he's making the mistakes because he knows that Wilson is ready to pounce. I dare say she's biding her time right now. She knows there's still, it'll be 25 laps to go this time across the stripe. So Powell, Wilson, Tarbox, Williams, Cowan, Main, and Paskowitz, your running order. And Wilson doing a little drifting going through 1. Collects it back up through 2. Powell gets out to a bigger lead now. Field getting pretty strung out as they make their way around the Concord Motor Speedway here.
And really, guys.
Bit of a slide coming out of the turn there for Layla. She's dropping back a bit now. She's I wonder if she's struggling to find a bit of grip in those corners now, and that's let Robert Tarbox catch her a bit now.
Well, it'll be 20 to go this time across the stripe, and I'm thinking maybe Wilson might have worn a lot of the goodie off the tires. As you see the field starting to reel in, I believe that is our broadcast partner, Mr. Kevin Paskowitz.
Don't kill them, KP.
True story.
I'm going to try not to.
And Wilson and Tarbox are both starting to reel in Powell. So Pennsylvania, California, and New York, your top 3 right now, is Wilson flirting with the wall. And KP doing his best to stay right out of the way, staying way on that low line, giving the racing line to the much faster cars right now.
As Wilson tagged the wall just then. Really fighting that car right now with those old tires.
And it's funny to say old tires and you're only 19 laps in. These cars normally will do, a 35 to 45 lap race. But Powell continues to show the way. Wilson in second, Tarbox in third, Williams in fourth, Cowan sitting in sixth, Cowan in fifth, Main in sixth, and Paskowitz in seventh, last car still running.
Yeah, Wilson's really fighting that car now. She's got absolutely no grips from the corners, and Tarbox is breathing down her neck right now and looking to take that second place away from her now.
He is. Robert Tarbox, a proud member of the New York Mafia, as we commonly or jokingly refer to the guys who run from New York, guys and gals. You got the Pennsylvania Posse and the New York Mafia, and there it is. What happened? Paskowitz pointing the wrong way. Let's just lost it coming off a 4. So that's going to bring the caution out as we go back to live. Field catching the pace car. And no surprise there, Wilson going pit side, Williams going pit side. It's going to move Cowan up to third, Main up to fourth. Powell stays out, Tarbox stays out, Cowan and Main stay out. Pits are not open, unfortunately, for KP right now, but I'm sure he's probably going to go in and get tires before all is said and done.
I'm probably repair some of that damage.
And
Yeah,
probably...
I didn't hit anything.
You brushed the wall, but... That's what Nerf bars are for.
So this is the weird thing about the pit boxes at Concord, because they're not as they should be, because it looks like Layla Wilson's overshot a pit box, but she really hasn't.
Well, they've got two stripes on them. There's the new stripe and the old stripe. As Wilson down and away, looks like... I'm going to go out on a limb and say Wilson got 4 tires on that one.
Yeah, she was in there for quite a while, and she must have got a fresh tank of fuel as well.
Now, I'm thinking no on the fuel, but yes on the tires. As
With 10 laps to go, so...
10 laps to go right now, as the cone rule will be in effect. So it's going to be a single file restart, but once the lights go out on the pace car, you can choose to go to, I believe it's the inside line here tonight. Don't quote me on that. Lights are still on the pace car. So we're only going to have about a 7-lap shootout when we go back to green.
Good to see KP back out on track.
So KP, your first time in the pavement sprint car, how are you feeling? Other than terrified.
He has no words.
Hold on, I'm talking to Layla.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I want to reevaluate how I make life decisions.
All right, so pace car is in. Nobody taking the inside line.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag comes out. Powell gets a great jump. Tarbox fighting off Cowan right now.
And Wilson just passed Williams like he was standing still. What a move.
True story. As right now, Tarbox starting to reel in... starting to reel in Powell. And someone please remind me to have one of the admins take the nicknames off of everything, because this can get mildly confusing when we're trying to broadcast.
I think I'm getting the hang of it.
So it'll be 3 to go this time across the stripe. Wilson to the inside of Cowan. Makes it look that easy. She's back on the podium, now trying to reel in Tarbox. Does she have enough time to do so? Does Tarbox have enough time to reel in Powell? Those are the two big questions right now. Powell continuing to show the way. 2 to go right now.
I don't think she's got enough. She got really loose coming out of turn 2 on the last lap, and she's just got really loose there again. She's looks like she's struggling again on those tires.
Well, she probably used up all the goodie on them. As the white flag comes out, 1 more lap to go, 1 more corner to go. Tarbox is going to have one final shot here, not going to be able to do it. Thomas Powell, for the 2nd week in a row, comes home with a victory. Tarbox for the 2nd, as Powell just hand grenades it into the wall. Wilson collects him. And it's an ARCA moment as they go, wow. That is what you refer to, considering that this track is south of the Mason-Dixon. That's a Waffle House moment. They are scattered, smothered, and covered right now. Thomas Powell coming home with the victory. Big Block Bob Tarbox hanging on for 2nd. Miss Layla Wilson hanging on for 3rd. As Powell apparently looking to get a new chassis for next week, or the next pavement series event, decides to just hand grenade that one. So
that was terrifying.
That was definitely terrifying, KP, and good on you for staying into it. Next week they'll be back on the dirt, though, so something to look forward to.
Yay!
Yay. So that is going to do it for this week's action. Again, you have been watching a presentation of the Roadkill Racing Weekly Series, the You Suck Sprint Cars. Roadkill Racing Series runs every Monday night. Their short track series. It's back-to-back-to-back events starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on how you can get involved, go ahead and drop a comment below with your iRacing screen name. We'll pass that along to the league admins. This series also runs a Tuesday night, what they call the Sprint Series, where they take a road car and a pavement car, and then they go from track to track to track, sometimes running ovals, sometimes running road courses, and there's a third car that gets rotated into the mix every week. Then Friday night is the world infamous Crash Car Series, which is a 30-minute rolling demolition derby, unlimited fast repairs, clear your own black flags. Most incident points wins at the end of the 30 minutes, and nothing else matters other than incident points. And that's immediately followed by NASJet. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what NASJet is, that is where you take the Volkswagen Jetta TDI, paint it up like an old cup car, and we run it on ovals. And KP and I have both driven in that. Sam, I believe you joined us for a couple events in that too.
No, I still don't own the Jetta.
Oh, that's right. You were in that other weird thing that we were doing on the dirt that one time. But NASJet is definitely the most fun you can have in the Jetta. Pack racing on anything larger than a 1 mile track, and it's a blast. That's the only way I can describe it. And so yeah, for more information on how you can get involved, just go ahead and drop a comment below with your iRacing screen name. We'll pass it along to the league admins. And we do ask that you like, subscribe, and share for more content like this. And we will see you tomorrow night from the Milwaukee Mile with the IR05s.
Bye.
Bye.